The man known as Blackbeard was one of the most feared pirates to ever roam the seas. His legend was so large that most people still know the name, and many misconceptions about the man still remain even into today. Some thought that he was a crazed maniac, others thought that he was more akin to a demon. But who was the real man behind the beard? Hello everyone. First things first, we can't call him Blackbeard for the whole video, so what was his real name? Well, most people call him Edward Teach, though it was most probably a pseudonym. Another possible name is Edward Thatch, but most likely his real name is lost to history. Teach was probably born in England and served as a privateer in the War of Spanish Succession, but turned pirate after the war was over, like many other privateers of the time. He first surfaced in 1717 under the apprenticeship of Benjamin Hornigold, one of the two founders of Nassau. This was the beginning of his pirate career, which, surprisingly for how famous he was, only lasted 15 months. By November of that year, Blackbeard came across a slave ship called the Concord. After its captain surrendered, he took over and renamed it the Queen Anne's Revenge, which was probably a reference to the War of Spanish Succession, which is also known as Queen Anne's War, although I've also heard it had something to do with him possibly being a Jacobite, but I don't know. He would go on to manufacture his own version of the Jolly Roger, which depicted a skeleton holding an hourglass in one hand and stabbing a heart with a spear in the other. A reminder to those he would rob that their time was running out. Teach also served as magistrate for the Pirate Republic of Nassau, so his job was to keep the law in the pirate town, which is kind of ironic, I guess, isn't it? But yeah. By early 1718, Blackbeard's crew was around 300 strong, and his legend was at its height. He was a master of fear. After growing out his long black hair and beard, he would put candles or fuses in them, giving the illusion that his hair was on fire.
Some hellish thing from a fevered dream, and men will drop to their knees, pleading for their lord before aught else.
Oh god.
Looks fine.
Of course it does.
In May 1718, Teach blockaded Charleston in South Carolina, taking a ship's crew hostage and demanding ransom of medicine, possibly to treat syphilis for his crew. After receiving the ransom, he left on his way to North Carolina. But on the way, he ran the Queen Anne's Revenge and Stead-Bonnet ship, the Revenge, into the ground. He may have done this deliberately to split up his large crew and take more of the booty for himself. In North Carolina, Teach took the king's pardon, which, as you can guess, pardoned him from his pirating crimes. He then settled down on a plantation, but he was not done pirating.
We're celebrating my retirement!
He made a deal with the governor, Charles Eden, to look the other way while he illegally tolled in the Pamlico Sound, which was a shallow body of water along the eastern shore of North Carolina. But this peace would not last. The governor of Virginia, Alexander Spotswood, sent 2 British Royal Navy sloops to capture Blackbeard. Teach now had only 25 men left in his crew, but still he decided to fight. The Navy captain, Lieutenant Maynard, wrote that Blackbeard had told him that he would take nor give any quarter, and also called the lieutenant's crew sniffling puppies. Teach's small crew managed to sink one of the Navy sloops before boarding the second. Thatch fought hard, taking 20 sword slashes and being shot 5 times before finally falling. In all, 10 pirates and 10 Navy sailors were killed. This number would have been higher if Thatch's lieutenant, a black man named Caesar, had succeeded in his plan to blow up the ship if they lost, but he was stopped before he could set it alight. Blackbeard's head would then be decapitated and stuck onto his own ship's bowsprit and brought back to Virginia. It's kind of odd how the legend of Blackbeard grew. He was not particularly successful or cruel, and most likely never left a secret vast treasure behind. But all these things are what he is known for. In the end, Blackbeard achieved more in death than he ever did in life.
Lad, I'm late into my 4th decade on this earth. And if I don't find some means to make the 5th quiet and cozy voyage, I'd rather sink to the devil's doorstep than call myself captain another year. We'll meet again, lad. In this world. Or the one below.